Hi, good evening. My name is Boris Lunin, and I am a Bachelor of Music Production at Full Sail University. Today I'm going to be discussing a TED Talk by Kirby Ferguson entitled Embracing the Remix. Now, the remix has been a very controversial topic as far as content goes these days in the digital media age when everything is online. Anything could be accessed, and with current copyright and patent laws putting a chokehold on creativity and on development of ideas and actually improvement of the ideas, it becomes very important to not take sides per se, but to know kind of what side of the fence you're on, because again, I mean, we're dealing with legal issues as well as moral issues, but also technological aspects of it, such as innovation and furtherment of ideas and actual products. Now, Kirby himself is a pretty well-known filmographer and a remixer in his own right. He is known for his work on the Everything is a Remix, which is a 4-part web series that he has done discussing the remix and discussing these subjects in full. Now, he basically goes on to ask the question: is a remix, is it just another way to look at creativity? Is it a way to produce new content, or is it just straight up theft? I mean, are we dealing with somebody who takes an original piece and then creates something out of it that is a new media, and are we considering that stealing, or is it just a way to utilize content as a tool and create something completely different? Now, we look at different subjects throughout the speech when he was talking about Bob Dylan and how Bob Dylan was accused of stealing songs from some of the older folk singers that came before him, and Kirby actually illustrates that by showing side-by-side songs where Bob Dylan is heard almost blatantly copying either a melody or a lyric line, but in his own right he does create a new song, so it is a new form of media, again utilizing some of the elements of the works of those that came before him. He also utilizes the illustration from Steve Jobs, and how Steve Jobs discussed in his early career, he discussed that everybody steals. The greatest minds in the world that come up with the greatest inventions always steal. They either steal, borrow, or transform current content and turning into a new form of that content, hence the remix. And later he discusses how Steve Jobs does a 180 on himself and actually accuses Android of blatantly stealing their ideas and threatens to sue them and burn them with hellfire, and basically contradicting himself completely. Henry Ford, as Kirby stated in his speech, Henry Ford himself said that he is an inventor of nothing new, that he is basically riding a wave of those that spent decades working on their inventions, and he was just in the right time and the right place, and being able to take all those inventions and all those ideas, put them together and create something new and something holistic that basically wouldn't have happened, hence if he came in a wrong time, and he acknowledges the fact that he's borrowing these ideas and he's using these ideas to basically to create the automobile and everything that Henry Ford is responsible for. The argument for the remix, again, it stems from the most unlikeliest of sources, and that again is the patent laws, the copyright laws. They were designed and they were created with the right intentions, which were basically to allow artists, to allow writers, to allow creators and innovators to be able to create and be able to be inspired and not fear their works to be stolen. What ended up happening is these same laws that were created to inspire and created to protect the work have now began to put a chokehold on creativity, therefore preventing people from being able to utilize an existing product and turning into something new. Kirby, again, illustrating this in his web series, he goes into great detail about it. And even though he comes out on the side of creativity, he illustrates that even though legal issue is on the side of the copyright holder and make sure that that they don't lose their rights, but he also states that they kind of took that a little too far in preventing people from being able to take a song, slice it up, and create a remix of it and be able to put it out there in the world for everybody to enjoy. Even though we live in a society where intellectual property is heavily protected and is punishable by law, we still have to remember that there's nothing new under the sun, that everything that we come up with has been influenced by work of others, and that we have to make sure that we pay respect to those that came before us, but at the same time we allow us to be as creative as possible, and to make sure that we fulfill the need for creativity before we try to abide by laws and things that prevent us from being creative. I mean, within legal limits, but at the same time, I personally stand on the side of creativity, being an artist myself. I think Kirby did a wonderful job convincing the audience that this is the case and that it's the right thing to do. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Have a great evening.